Hi, we're Mark and Susan Giltner. We're the Vice President couple for Family Enrichment USA. We've been married for almost 26 years and have 7 children. We live in San Antonio, Texas.
We've been watching a lot of great videos on affectivity and sexuality in this Congress, and we're here to talk about a great communication tool to help couples live their married life to their full potential. In the late 1960s, a group of fathers studying for the graduate degree in business school had the brilliant idea to begin to use the Harvard case study method that they used in business school to apply to family problems. Since family life is full of subjectivity and matters, this methodology is the perfect tool to apply to problems and situations that come up in daily family life. It's important to note that originally this methodology was used by men for men to help solve family problems, as men like to do, to fix things.
When the husbands told their wives about this tool, the wives said, "We need to use this as couples together." So family enrichment was started by parents for parents. The success of this method as a tool for problem solving in family situations is its ability to order and dissect many situations that can be full of subjectivity. As we know, family situations can be unpredictable, and although often they can be put in order, what is required more than a set of instructions or best practices is a method. Some of the benefits to using the case study method are: number 1, improving communication in the family; number 2, recognizing problems and opportunities more effectively; number 3, receiving new resources for personal and family growth; and number 4, friendship with people and families with our same interest in improvement. My favorite quote of all time is by Raphael Pick, the founder of Family Enrichment and father of 17 children. Parents need to concern themselves more with the kind of children they will leave the world than the kind of world they will leave their children. This sets the bar very high for being professional about family life, whatever that looks like to each of us. This tool that we learn through our family enrichment courses is the best way to achieve this goal.
Why do we need the case study method in family life? Well, the majority of conflict or any barrier to fulfill your true potential in any relationship is often based on misunderstanding, assuming the intention of the other, or differences in expectations, or simply avoidance of conflict, which is a slow and steady spiral that goes downward. The case study method, it allows the parties to take emotional arguments out of the discussions. First, you go through the facts. And then once the facts are identified, then the parties will identify what are the problems associated with those facts, and then solutions are proposed. And it's important to distinguish what are the facts. Facts are something that everybody agrees on. It's a critical step in the communication to really know what actually the facts are, not judgments or opinions, just actually what happened or what was observed. Or the facts are things that we can prove, actions, words, or spoken things. Learning to see things factually is a skill that will help us in all of our interpersonal relationships, whether with our spouse, our children, our coworkers. We need to have a mutual understanding of the facts to identify the true problems. And then when we address the problems, we don't have to all agree on what the problems are. The idea is to try to understand the other's perspective, to identify the core problem, not just symptoms. So many times in family life, you'll see symptoms of problems that occur, but that's not truly the core problem. And that's what family enrichment does, is try to identify what is the core problem to address. And then solutions. Solutions are our own solutions that work. Simple, specific, practical solutions that work for your own family. It's not a cookie cutter type of method, but it's adapted for our own families. Our case study example, we wanted to talk about this. Our case study example that we'd used before. We were driving home after early morning trip with all the kids in the car. All 7 kids were in the car. And it was just a short little 10-minute drive. And within 2 minutes, there was so much fighting. By the way, our kids are going to be so mad that we're telling this story to everybody in the world. But anyway, they're fighting, so we had to stop the car and say, okay, everybody be quiet. This car's not moving until everybody's quiet. They get quiet, put the car in drive. We drive about 5 more minutes, stop the car again because they're fighting again. And so we stopped, and then Susan had the great idea, said, hey, let's use the case study method here. So we drove home, and we all sat around the dining room table. And we said, okay, guys, so what are the facts?
What really happened? Like, what happened in the car? Why were you fighting?
And then our youngest, well, you hit me. Well, that's because you took my toy. And well, that's because this or that. Or we were hungry because we didn't have anything to eat for breakfast before we took off. Or we were tired because we didn't get to bed till late last night. And so we're going through all these facts and we're writing these facts down. And then we said, okay, guys, to the kids, what were the problems associated with those facts we just identified? And one of them said, well, we were hungry and
Mom didn't make breakfast.
Mom didn't make breakfast, so
we were a little hungry.
It's like, or we were tired because we went to bed late the night before. Well, we know there's a rule not to bring toys in the car. We're going on early morning trips, and so we shouldn't have done that. And so, okay, guys, so what are some of the solutions that we can fix so this doesn't happen again? And our brave child raised their hand and said, well, Mom, could you make breakfast before we go?
I said, yes, point well taken. I agree.
And then one of them said, well, you know what? Maybe we should go to bed earlier. And that was amazing. Our kids came up with a solution of going to bed earlier.
And they followed through,
and they
which was amazing.
Which is amazing. So in any event, that was a simple example of where it was successful for us to use the case study method, and it taught our kids how to communicate without having emotion and subjectivity and judgments and putting intentions behind the acts of the others without even knowing it. And so it was a great way that we learned how to use the case study method. It helps us take emotions and judgments out of misunderstanding by simply looking at the facts that we can agree on together. And we can begin to try to understand the other's perspective and to look for problems that occurred and then come up with solutions that work for all of us. This communication tool will transform the conversation into a more positive, solution-oriented conversation other than descending into hurt feelings, name-calling, and negative thoughts.
It will also help no matter what our differences are. For example, I was raised in a home with divorced parents and one sibling that was 8 years younger than me. Mark was raised in a very close home with both of his parents and had 5 siblings that were born in 6 years. This difference was very noticeable to us when we began to raise our children. Because of the differences that we were used to or expectations of things how should be done, because that's what we knew, using the case study method has transformed our communication and helped us to come together based on understanding and how we want to create our family. It was truly a change that helped all of our families so much. The primary mission of family enrichment is to provide parents with the tools that they need to reach their full potential as educators of their children and to develop their very own personal and family plan. In family life, we can just get by and not take the time to make plans, set goals, and work on our most important relationship, our spouse and our children.
If we don't take control and actually set a plan or define goals for our own family, someone or something else is going to do it for us. They might be good plans, worthy, or even wholesome plans, but they aren't our own.
So why does the case study method work so well? It provides a structured, time-tested format for both parties. It helps to take the emotion out of situations. It facilitates understanding through communication and active listening. It allows for different perspectives. Both have the opportunity to talk about the issue and solve the problem together.
Family enrichment courses give couples the opportunity to try to practice the case study method. IFFD programs are designed to suit the different stages of marriage and child development. All courses are structured on the participant-based case study method and use cases involving real situations. The cases are first analyzed by the individual, they read them themselves, and then the husbands and wives talk together to communicate about what are the facts, the problems, and solutions. And then they're analyzed by small teams. Couples of 4 or 5 at a time might gather in someone's home to talk about it. And then you see a broader breadth of, oh, I didn't really see that as a problem, but this other couple did. Or other solutions that you would have never thought of on your own. And that's the beauty of the case study method, is to see how others might propose a solution. Then they're discussed overall in a larger group in general sessions where it's moderated by a trained moderator. The courses foster a deep conversation among friends about significant life topics. and they provide parents with tools they need to reach their full potential as educators of their children and to develop their very own personal and family plan.
We hope you will join a family enrichment course in your area, whether it's in person or digital, and take your relationships to another level. You can find more information at iffd.org. Family life is the greatest adventure of our lives. Let us make the most of it and help others to see the beauty in living family life to the fullest. Thank you very much.
Thanks.